Hi everyone, it's Kara here from Boho, and I am finally back today with a brand new Plan With Me video, and that is for the month of December. I first wanted to apologize for this video being a little later than usual. I'm coming back from a long weekend. My birthday was this past weekend, as well as Thanksgiving here in the US, and my husband came home from a long deployment. So all of those things combined kind of caused me to put a lot of things on the back burner and really focus on some family time. So I'm sorry to those of you who have been waiting patiently or not patiently for this video, but I do finally have it here for you today. So I'm very, very excited. And one of the reasons that this video is kind of special to me is that from what you can see here is that I'm moving out of my Filofax and back into a regular bound notebook. And this is actually the official bullet journal notebook. This was my previous journal, except I had it in black. It now comes in this gorgeous emerald color, which for me is a throwback to my very first bullet journal. This was the color of my very first bullet journal, and it feels really, really great to be back in an emerald leuchtturm notebook. Before I dive in, some of the reasons for making the switch back. I've mentioned a couple on my Instagram account, but basically I was getting a little fed up with the rings in the Filofax. Not that they necessarily bothered me when I wrote, because I actually took the paper out of the binder to write on it and then I would put it back in. The problem for me arose in that it was kind of a hassle to do that. I like to sit on my couch at night and have my notebook open on my lap, do some writing, and I really wasn't able to do that with the Filofax. I would have to literally come to a flat surface like my desk or the coffee table so that I could take a page out and write, and it just kind of became a hassle. I do still very much love the Filofax system. I'm considering keeping some of my longer term collections in there and things like that that will span. Instead of having them in a notebook and having to transfer them over and over and over again, I can have those long-term collections housed there in the Filofax. So that's kind of my plan for now. But I've got to say, I did this switch mid-month in November, so you'll notice that. I'm going to go ahead and start flipping through here for you so you can see what I'm talking about. But I switched over at the very beginning of November, and here I did a little color code, my own little personal color code in the front. And then I have my 2017 Year at a Glance sticker. That's from my shop, Boho Paperie. And I decided to put that in the front there just for future reference. You'll see I've got some indexing going already. And of course I did my Calendex, which if you don't know what a Calendex is, you should definitely check out that video here on my channel. But I've got my Calendex set up. This is for the next 8 months. I've got, of course, my level 10 life and level 10 goals. And then I started out with November. Now, even though I started mid-month in November, I still did the full monthly spread up front. And that's just because I just wanted to have the entire month for reference. But you'll notice here when I turn the page, I went straight into my dailies. And then this is where I kind of started fresh at the middle of November. So I started on November 17th, got this all set up. So I have a little mini kind of half-month tracker here. And then I also have kind of a half-month gratitude log as well. So I didn't transfer all of that over from my Filofax. I decided to just start fresh on the 17th, not worry about the first couple of weeks of the month. So I did a little doodle here and a little quote to kind of commemorate the switch. And the quote is, "Don't be afraid to start over. It's a brand new opportunity to rebuild what you truly want." And I saw that on Pinterest. It wasn't attributed to anyone, so I don't have who the quote is by, but I loved it. So I put it in my journal and just moved on. All right, after that, I have my Thanksgiving menu and shopping list, which I kept it really simple this year. On the next spread, I have some Christmas gifts, things like that, which I will try to blur some of these out for people that may be watching. And then my first weekly spread. And I had talked about the new way that I'm doing my weekly spread in one of my past Mini Tip Monday videos. So this is that new layout. It's so far working really well for me. As you can see, I didn't really do a whole lot last week. It was really just a week to enjoy time with family, as my husband ended up coming home early, so a lot of things did not get done last week, but I did keep track on my self-care tracker, and I really like the way it turned out. It was kind of fun to see how things correlate with each other. Like, you can see where I got more sleep, I was more active the next day and things like that. So it's kind of neat to see those correlations. So I'm going to keep that going for a little while and see if more patterns emerge. And then this was a project spread for my shop update that I did earlier this week. And then more dailies and more dailies. And you can see here, Saturday was my birthday. I didn't do a Sunday, and yesterday, Monday, was so completely insane. I had so many orders from the busy shopping weekend that I just didn't even touch my bullet journal. So I don't have a Sunday or Monday here, and I just decided to do another one of my stickers for my shop, which is this I am grateful kind of sunshine. So I colored that in, wrote some things that I'm grateful for, slapped that on there, and then I am just going to start December on this very next page. All right, so I'm going to get these bookmarks out of the way. And this is one thing, by the way, that I absolutely love about the official bullet journal notebook, is that it comes with 3 bookmarks. So I always keep one on my month, my current monthly spread, and then I keep one on my current weekly spread, and then the last one goes on my current day. So it's really easy to flip back and forth to what I need. So I love that, love that. Okay, so I'm gonna move some of this stuff out of the way here and put on some music for you, and we're just gonna dive in. All right, so that is that. I have December set up pretty simply, really. I just did my regular December log here, and I just filled it in with things off the top of my head that I knew of that were coming up in the month of December. Since I'm filming this on my phone, I actually don't have access to my Google Calendar, which has all of my birthdays and anniversaries and stuff like that. So I'm sure there's more I need to fill in on here. And then I have my master tasks list. And by the way, I'm not happy with how my header turned out, but you just roll with it. Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want to. So we're just gonna leave that there. I might color this in, I might not, haven't decided, might keep the black and white. I've got my time log. You'll see here I decided to condense it down to just one page instead of a whole spread. So they're going to be really close together this month. I hope that I like that. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it when it's all done, but we're going to give it a shot. And then I've got my December tracker. And this is just a sticker from my shop. I find it a lot easier, especially since I've already drawn out all of these trackers to put them in my shop. I find it a little tedious to draw it straight into my bullet journal, so I usually just grab one of my stickers and slap it in. So that's my December tracker. And then my gratitude spread, I've been toying around with this spread a lot lately. Recently, I actually went back to my original way of doing the gratitude log, which was to list out all the days of the month and then 2 little bullet points next to each one. And that's the idea that I got from Kim over at Tiny Ray of Sunshine. And I love my gratitude log so much, but sometimes I just feel like switching it up. So this month, I'm just leaving 2 pages blank. And I'm just gonna fill it in whenever I feel like, maybe make it a little bit prettier than just writing things out. Maybe I'll do some doodling or some sketching and things like that. So we'll see how this turns out. The reason I went back to my original way was that I found that switching it up made me not write in it as much. So I'm hesitant, but I kind of want to do something a little fun for December. So we're gonna give it a try. And then after that, I just moved straight into my first weekly log. Now, this is something that I get questions on all the time, which is, what do you do when a week is split between 2 months? And I typically just choose whichever month has the most days in it. That's the month that that weekly spread will go in. So you'll notice that I'm technically within the month of December here, but this is my current week. So it's 28th, 29th is today. And then since December has 4 days out of the 7, I decided to place this weekly spread within the month of December. So if it was the reverse, if say the 30th was on Thursday and December started on Friday, I would have placed this weekly spread in the month of November. So I hope that makes sense. Obviously you can do it however you like. That's just the way that I like to do it when the months are split like that. And that's it. I'll just go into my first daily spread here on the next page. And obviously this, I still have to fill everything out. One thing I wanted to talk about was I'm changing up some colors, and you might have noticed that throughout. I'm kind of keeping with this kind of pastel color palette in this bullet journal. So all of my colors in my time trackers up here, I've kind of switched up a little bit, and that's actually why I gave myself this color code at the very front of my bullet journal, so I can reference it for a while until I get used to it. And these numbers right here are actually the numbers of the Tombow dual brush pen colors. So in case you're curious and you want to know what colors are what, that is the colors that I'm using. And then another thing throughout that I've started playing around with is actually using my fountain pen. This is my TWSBI Diamond 580. I love how it writes. This is a daily writer for me, but anytime you see any writing in my bullet journal, that is being done with my TWSBI Diamond 580. And this has Noodler's, just plain old Noodler's black ink in it. It's an archival ink, which I really like, and it does really, really well in the bullet journal. You'll notice there's no bleed through at all. All of my headers I still do for the most part with my Faber-Castell PITT artist pen, because I just love how easy it is and how it writes. It doesn't show through on the other side at all. But I've been having a lot of fun doing all of my writing with my fountain pen in here. And then the other fountain pen I've been using pretty religiously since I got it is this Pilot Vanishing Point. This is the limited edition from 2015, the Twilight. It is no longer sold, so I apologize to anyone who's feeling a little jealous out there about this pen, but I love it, love it, love it so much. I have this inked up with Iroshizuku Ajisai. I'm probably pronouncing that absolutely incorrectly, so I'm going to hold this bottle up for you to see. And I think it's kind of like a bluish purple, but it's very, very vibrant, and I think it really matches this pen well, so I love that. I've been using that for my gratitude log. But yeah, that's it, and I've pretty much just been sticking with these 6 Tombow colors, except for a few different things like the Christmas gifts title there. Obviously I used a red. But yeah, I've been sticking with these 6 colors within my journal, and I really love how it's looking. And then there's one last thing that I wanted to point out that I'm very, very excited about. I'm sure some of you might have seen it already, but it's this giveaway task under YouTube. I'm actually getting really, really close to hitting 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and you have no idea how excited that makes me. I started here on YouTube just a tiny bit over a year ago. It was at the end of November of 2015, and I am completely floored and amazed by how much this community has grown and how much love and support you all show me. So I wanted to do something special for you all when we hit 100K. So if you're not already, hit that subscribe button if you love my videos and you want to see more. And I'll be announcing the giveaway probably within the next week or two, depending on how close we get to that 100K mark. But I have some amazing goodies. I have some official bullet journal notebooks in Emerald, which is this one that I'm using right here. And then the folks over at Goulet Pens sent me a few different turquoise fountain pens as part of the prize package for the giveaway. So I'm really, really excited, and I can't wait to launch it. So if you watch me regularly, if you love what I do, please, please, please hit subscribe so we can unlock this giveaway. And I will look forward to seeing you all later this week. Bye!